You could feel it leaving you, that old certainty. I never meant for it to go this far. Now, watch everything you know begin to drift away. Ren family. As soon as Ren Wanxuan got home, she saw Ren Qian instructing the secretary, "Tobacco, do you have a channel? Get more tobacco." The secretary general nodded. He too had heard of Chen Yi's men's recent frantic search for various tobaccos. On the surface, everyone seemed peaceful, but secretly, who knows how many people had been reassigned to this task. Tobacco production wasn't prominent in Xiancheng. They were looking for rare tobaccos across the country to pave the way to Chen Yi's door. It wasn't until Ren Qian went upstairs that the Secretary General turned to Ren Wanxuan. "Miss, did those people from Class 15 come to apologize to you today?" "No," Ren Wanxuan shook her head, feeling uneasy. "The principal didn't seek me out either. Could something have happened? Even if the people from Class 15 didn't come, the principal should have, at least." But Ren Wanxuan hadn't seen anyone all afternoon. It was only after she'd lost her temper that day that Ren Wanxuan realized the seriousness of the situation, but she couldn't swallow her pride to look for the principal. So she let the Secretary General handle it. What could possibly go wrong? The Secretary General had full confidence in Ren Wanxuan's capabilities. What else could they do? Aside from you, could they find another person to assist them with the shoot? Listening to the Secretary General's comforting words, Ren Wanxuan calmed down. He was right about that. What you need to do now is just wait patiently and see who loses their patience first. Strength is everything, the Secretary General said with a smile. Watch, by tomorrow they'll be asking for your help. Library. As soon as Bai Lian sat down with Jianghe, she received a message from an unnamed mobile number. "Let's meet somewhere tomorrow to talk." No signature, but Bai Lian knew it was Jai Mulan. She didn't respond. On the other end of the phone, Jai Mulan was frustrated by the lack of reply. Beside her, Su En was video conferencing with the administrative director, his brow furrowed. "No tobacco channels under our name. Keep looking, Chen Yi is in Xiancheng, a rare opportunity." In Jiangjing, they wouldn't even have the chance to meet Chen Yi. Jai Mulan didn't quite understand these business maneuvers. She and Su En indeed had a significant gap between them. Just as Jai Heng had said, bringing Bai Lian might not have been a good idea. She quietly sat aside and listened, not disturbing them. After Su En ended the video call, he turned to Jai Mulan. "She didn't agree to meet with you." "Yes." Jai Mulan nodded and then shook her head. "I'll find her directly tomorrow." Su En wasn't concerned about Bai Lian. What bothered him was his rejected invitation. Bai Lian was in the library figuring out the Jiangjing University Prep Camp's app. She wasn't good at chemistry, usually too lazy to do the problems on it, but luckily, the Jiangjing University Prep Camp app now allowed skipping the problems she couldn't do. Today, Bai Lian had completed a physics problem and a math problem. Started doing problems. Jiang Fulai just arrived upstairs and noticed someone practicing Jiangjing University's prep camp problems, raising an eyebrow. Bai Lian, with one hand pressing down on the paper and the other holding a pen calculating a problem, wore a snow-white blouse, half leaning on the desk. Under the library lighting, her profile shone, making her look graceful and beautiful no matter how you looked at her. She was always serious when doing homework, but today she seemed particularly languid and sluggish. "What's that?" Bai Lian changed her position, propping her chin with her hand and lazily looked up. She noticed the glass bottle in Jiang Fulai's hand. Pale blue water contained dark blue crystalline structures resembling snowflakes. Bai Lian quickly became captivated by the beautiful shade of blue. The library wasn't crowded. Jiang Fulai sat opposite her, slightly leaning back in his chair, and pushed the bottle over with an air of nonchalance. "Blue crystal flower vase." Bai Lian took it and quietly observed the bottle under the light, looking at the crystallized blue flowers. Made with glycine and basic copper carbonate, Jiang Fulai's light-colored eyes always appeared cold, but now as he sat in the library, the light created a hint of a languid charm. "Do you know this blue has another name?" Bai Lian continued to observe the blue crystals. From Jiang Fulai's words, she roughly knew they were made with chemicals. "Klein blue," Jiang Fulai said faintly. Bai Lian nodded, silently repeating the name. In the midst of their conversation, Jiang Fulai noticed Bai Lian working on the app's problems. He sat up a bit straighter and asked as if casually, "Started doing problems?" He had always thought Bai Lian didn't want to do problems. He only found out later that she was a bit weak in chemistry and biology, but he never saw her studying chemistry. "Yes," Bai Lian glanced at her phone, then smiled. "It seems I can skip the chemistry questions now." Someone with hidden talent and fame lightly opened their mouth. "Pretty good." Jiang He sat next to Bai Lian, flipping through a large dictionary expressionlessly. "During your winter vacation, the Jiangjing app will have a local training camp." Jiang Fulai reached for Bai Lian's phone and flipped through it a bit. "It's quite helpful for chemistry." This was the first time Bai Lian had heard about the training camp, and she pondered it. 9 o'clock. The library closed. Jiang Fulai watched Bai Lian pack her book bag, his phoenix eyes slightly narrowed, and after a moment's thought he said, "Kai Yundai made a lot of delicious food today." Kai Yundai was the best cook Bai Lian had ever encountered. She hesitated a bit about the meal he prepared, but still swooshed to zip up her jacket and slanted her head towards Jiang Fulai with a hint of regret. "Then you'll have to go eat with Jiang Zio now. I have to go back and have dinner with my grandfather." Jai Heng had been restless these past few days. Bai Lian would go back every night to have dinner with him. "Your grandfather hasn't eaten yet?" Jiang Fulai looked at her. You guys go eat." Bai Lian waved behind her. "I'll take the bus back." Having said that, the bus came to a stop, and Bai Lian got on board with her backpack. Jiang Fulai watched expressionlessly as the bus swayed into the distance, leaving him staring at its rear. Next to him, Jiang He crouched on the ground. He silently looked up at Jiang Fulai. Jiang Fulai looked down at him with a high-end mighty gaze and let out a cold laugh. "Are you crouching down to avoid being found by someone?" The next day, Tuesday, Bai Lian didn't have lunch because she had to reshoot the promotional video. It was still the same photographer from last time. He recognized Bai Lian and was surprised. Bai can also write in the Liang style. Before Bai Lian could speak, the excited principal beside her explained to the photographer, "Yes, and Bai writes the Liang style very well." Today was for reshooting the scene of writing in large characters. Bai Lian took off her school uniform jacket, revealing a light white shirt underneath, and then picked up a wolf hair brush. "Write on this board," said the photographer in a gentle voice, naturally obliging since it was a newcomer recommended by the principal. Bai Lian stood in front of the board. She held down the rice paper with one hand and lifted the wolf hair brush with the other, her eyes and brows lowered. Her hair was loosely secured by a wooden hairpin. The sun filtered through the trees and the window, casting mottled shadows on her, shrouding her in a hazy and mysterious aura. Without any extra movements like those of Ren Wanxuan, everyone on set involuntarily held their breath. She always had an inexplicable quality about her that seemed to link with the entire Xiangcheng in countless ways. This sense of a collision between the past and the present was all too obvious. Without hearing the next step for a long while, Bai Lian looked up, asking in surprise, "Can I start now?" "Oh," the photographer came back to his senses. "Yes, you can start. Just like that, it feels great." He turned on the camera. Only then did Bai Lian lift her wrist and write a line on the paper. "After drinking wildly to the heart's content with enemies, one man, one arrow, stormed through Fengdu." This was the line from a stone in their school, and also the one that Ren Wanxuan had tried and failed to write well over and over again that day. Bai Lian completed it in one go. As she wrote, her strokes were fluid like drifting clouds and flowing water, her calligraphy robust and forceful. She had felt an overwhelming presence while writing with black ink for the principal the day before, and this was nothing compared to today when she was using the wolf hair brush she was most comfortable with. At a glance, each character seemed to exude an aura of ferocity and pride. This line of text made it easy to envision scenes of brave combat. Such was the charm of calligraphy. This was the resonating passion etched in the DNA of the people, felt through just a line of writing. Bai Lian, after writing, looked at the line for a while and was dissatisfied. Then she turned her head towards the photographer. "I want to do it over." Since this was for promotion, it didn't need to be perfect. She had not removed the iridium bracelet from her wrist, and the brushstrokes hadn't quite reached the necessary strength. Bai Lian was about to take the ink stone and crumple the paper into a ball. The principal hurriedly stopped her, snatching the paper from Bai Lian's hands. "Do it over. It's written so well, why would you want to redo it?" The photographer also replayed the video. He didn't understand calligraphy, but could feel the impact from Bai Lian's writing. Last time they filmed Ren Wanxuan, he knew that calligraphers needed to be in the right state of mind to write well. A good state meant good writing. No state meant dissatisfaction no matter the effort, as was the case with Ren Wanxuan. If Bai Lian's writing, as impressive as it was, got destroyed, what if she couldn't reproduce the same effect? "Let's just leave it like this, Bai." The principal carefully dried the ink, his eyes never leaving the piece of writing. "You go back to your class. This writing will remain as it is." Just like that, fearing Bai Lian might crumple up the paper. Clearly, he shared the same thoughts as the photographer. Bai Lian, she opened her mouth, wanting to explain. Then she was pushed out of the door by the photographer. Bai Lian looked at the closed door, somewhat speechless. "Principal, my school uniform." The door opened a crack. The school uniform was thrown out. Bai Lian picked up her uniform and looked at the door for a long while. Fine then. She slowly walked toward the direction of the cafeteria. Since the photo shoot was quick, most students hadn't finished eating. As soon as Bai Lian entered the cafeteria, Pu Xiaohan waved at her. "Over here." Pu Xiaohan had gotten Bai Lian some food. The group finished their meal and then returned to class. Along the way, they happened to run into a line of students from Class 8. Ren Wanxuan and Chen Zhu had just finished eating too, and neither group had a good impression of the other, but at least they maintained superficial peace. Ren Wanxuan's eyes darkly stared at Zhang Shai's. Zhang Shai's felt goosebumps all over. "Sister Lion, let's go, there's something filthy here." He exaggeratedly spoke and left with the class 15 students. Behind them, Ren Wanxuan looked even more upset. She had thought Zhang Shai's intentionally came to apologize, so why did he just leave? By her side, Chen Zhu also remembered the last incident. What happened with that thing? "I don't know." Ren Wanxuan was also feeling frustrated. She knew that the photo shoot was scheduled for noon today, but Zhang Shai's hadn't looked for her, and neither had the principal. "I'm going to find the principal." The whole situation from beginning to end was shrouded in strangeness. The Secretary General told her to stay put. The principal and people from Class 15 would surely come to find her. Initially, she was indeed full of confidence and didn't take it to heart. But as time almost ran out, she hadn't seen anyone come to apologize. That's when Ren Wanxuan began to panic. She went to look for the principal in his office, but he was not there at that time. Ren Wanxuan waited patiently for another 10 minutes before he finally arrived, late as usual. "Ren student." Seeing Ren Wanxuan, the principal was quite surprised, then seemed to understand something. He smiled, yet didn't say it straight out. "Please take a seat." Ren Wanxuan sat down. The principal then poured himself a cup of tea and began leisurely. "Ren student, what brings you here?" Ren Wanxuan could tell by the principal's composed manner that things were different than she and the Secretary General had imagined. "Principal," Ren Wanxuan's demeanor as always had no issues. She was very polite. "Regarding the cultural and tourism promotion, please don't take my grandfather's secretary's words to heart." This was offering a way out. The principal smiled gently, his voice very warm. "So you've forgiven Zhang Shai's? We are all classmates." The principal nodded. "That's good." Ren Wanxuan waited for the principal to accept her offer, but after his "that's good," he fell silent. Seeing that Ren Wanxuan hadn't left, the principal looked puzzled. "Is there something else, Ren student?" She bit her lip, looking at the principal. Almost humiliatedly she spoke. "I will participate in the promotional video shoot." "Promotional video?" The principal looked up from his computer, then smiled. "Ah, that. I forgot to tell you, Bai Lian just finished filming it." Ren Wanxuan's humiliated expression instantly turned to shock. Her heart missed a couple of beats. "What?" The principal continued calmly, waving her over. "You didn't know, did you? Student Bai actually knows the Liang style too. I am watching her video right now. Why don't you come and have a look as well, Ren student?" Ren Wanxuan endured the fear. She walked over to look at what the principal was viewing. The video happened to show the moment when Bai Lian wrote her characters. As someone who had studied Liang-style calligraphy, Ren Wanxuan could tell at a glance that the person writing those lines had executed the brushwork and transitions with extremely meticulous technique and composition. Nearly at first sight, she realized what her mentor Qiu Zhuzhang often meant by the words sinew and bone. "How about it? Isn't Bai Lian's writing good?" the principal said, crossing his legs, unable to resist starting the conversation. "Isn't this what Teacher Qiu refers to as being in the zone?" Today's calligraphers always learn the methods of ancient writers. Most people guess the state of mind the ancient calligraphers were in by studying authentic works. The principal reflected on the second Bai Lian wrote her characters. He felt that Bai Lian had a moment of enlightenment then, and almost everyone in the audience hadn't even reacted yet. "This state is just good luck anyway." Ren Wanxuan, looking at the principal, couldn't come up with an answer. She pursed her lips, glanced at the principal, and suddenly took a step back. She couldn't believe that Bai Lian, someone she never took seriously, could surpass her in every way, even if it were just a training class. Calligraphy had always been her proudest aspect, promoted for so long by the Ren family and Xiaohan now. One high school. She wouldn't even regard Qiu Beicheng. With his Orchid Pavilion Award nomination, how could she possibly admit that Bai Lian could measure up to her? "It's just a momentary state." She took out her cell phone and called the Secretary General. "What's wrong?" The Secretary General was with Ren Qian. "Miss, have you finished shooting?" Ren Wanxuan heard Ren Qian's voice on the other end. She gripped the phone tightly, her gaze lowered as she spoke. "It's nothing." She abruptly ended the call. This matter. She couldn't let Ren Qian know. She held her phone, stood in place for a long while, and then sent a message to Qiu Beicheng. "Senior brother, did you talk to the teacher about the Orchid Pavilion Award?" Meanwhile, at the Qiu family, Qiu Beicheng had just received the message when he got home. In the living room, Qiu Zhuzhang was discussing matters with people from the Cultural and Tourism Bureau. Qiu Beicheng didn't interrupt and just stood aside waiting for them to finish. Is it really impossible for Xiaohan to set up a calligraphy association? The Cultural and Tourism Bureau official seemed disheartened as he looked at Qiu Zhuzhang. "So many remote places can have a calligraphy association, so can't we in Xiaohan?" There are countless calligraphers in the country. Apart from the traditional Calligraphers Association, all small locales have their calligraphy associations, except Xiaohan. The Cultural and Tourism Bureau had applied 3 times already and had been unsuccessful. "It's still lacking a bit," Qiu Zhuzhang said with a sigh. "Unless we win the Orchid Pavilion Award, which would give Xiaohan a significant boost in reputation and might just provide an opportunity." Winning the Orchid Pavilion Award paves a clear path for the future. The traditional Calligraphers Association, and even some families in Jiangning, would extend olive branches. Then applying for a calligraphy association for Xiaohan would be much easier. But whether Qiu Beicheng could win the Orchid Pavilion Award this year was still uncertain. "I believe Teacher Qiu can certainly do it," the person from the Cultural and Tourism Bureau said, looking at Qiu Beicheng with a face full of hope. Qiu Beicheng didn't respond. Qiu Zhuzhang just smiled, then sighed again. After the Cultural and Tourism Bureau official left, Qiu Beicheng looked at Qiu Zhuzhang, his lips pursed, quite puzzled. "Grandfather, why didn't you recommend junior sister's work for the Orchid Pavilion Award?" "Her mind is too restless now, not suitable." Qiu Zhuzhang shook his head. But Qiu Beicheng disagreed. "You should know that women naturally lack strength in their wrists. She's already done very well to have trained to this level. Aren't your expectations for junior sister a bit too demanding?" "If you put it that way," Qiu Zhuzhang looked at Qiu Beicheng coolly. "Have you heard of Su Yajun from Jiangning? At 18, she was proactively invited by the Traditional Calligraphers Association to join. She's also a woman, so why is her wrist strength so formidable?" Upon hearing that name, Qiu Beicheng fell silent. "How can you compare? Don't you know who her teacher is?" Comparing Ren Wanxuan with her seemed utterly unfair, and he didn't agree with Qiu Zhuzhang's rationale at all. Qiu Zhuzhang shook his head. Qiu Beicheng grew up with Ren Wanxuan, and they were fellow disciples. Naturally, he admired the exceptionally talented Ren Wanxuan. After school in the afternoon, Xiaohan and Bai Lian, along with a bunch of others, were walking on the road. For Teacher Qiu's lecture tomorrow, I want to ask Ren Qian if he can get us a couple of tickets. Do you guys want to go? Zhang Shai's nonchalantly spun a basketball. Spare me. Who? Bai Lian took her time putting on her earphones. Xiaohan glanced at Bai Lian. Next to her, Ning Xiao quietly spoke up. Teacher Qiu Zhuzhang, a very famous calligrapher from Xiancheng. Even Lian Ning Xiao, who tends to keep others at arm's length, knew about it. Oh, I'm not going. Ah, Xiaohan, knowing that Bai Lian had only been here for just over a month, explained to her. But that's Teacher Qiu from Beicheng, a member of the Beicheng Calligraphy Association. This time, I don't know who managed to move this big mountain and actually got him to come back to Xiancheng. Having said this, she looked at Bai Lian. Bai Lian was still indifferent. Xiaohan, who was beside her, even heard Bai Lian whisper a word under her breath. So cool. All right, Xiaohan glanced again at Yang Lin, who was lagging a step behind them. Yang Lin definitely wouldn't go either. Next to number 1 middle school, a black car was parked far across the street. Jiang He was sitting in the backseat, resting his head against the window, looking far off in the direction of the school gate. In front of him, Jiang Fulai slightly squinted his eyes as he browsed on the laptop screen, the chilling aura on his stern face growing heavier by the moment. Ming Dingheng was sitting in the driver's seat, itching to get out of the car. Yet the phone in his pocket rang again. Ming Dingheng didn't dare glance at the rearview mirror and hurriedly picked up the phone. It was Jiang Ziju. "What are you doing?" he asked cautiously as he got out of the car, lowering his voice. "Don't you know that young Master Jiang is looking at a document sent by the Gao family?" The Gao family was an untouchable line that no one dared to cross for Jiang Fulai. On the phone, Jiang Ziju didn't care about the treatment Ming Dingheng was receiving, simply saying, "The invitation from the Traditional Calligraphers Association, hoping our emperor, Jiang, could provide a piece of writing. I've brought the message, just remember to find time to tell him." After finishing, Jiang Ziju, ignoring Ming Dingheng's cursing, hung up the call directly. His technique of passing the buck was incredibly smooth. Ming Dingheng's face darkened. If Jiang Ziju didn't dare say it, did he dare to? He fiddled with his phone, complaining in the group chat with 4 people, "Is the Traditional Calligraphers Association mad?" When have they ever seen Jiang Fulai practice calligraphy, yet they dare to bother him with this request? Inside the car, with the knuckles of his pale fingers tapping lightly on the screen of his phone, Jiang Fulai glanced out the window and, after considering for about 5 seconds, called Bai Lian. "I'm about to come out." Bai Lian's voice sounded quite surprised. Jiang Fulai was very nonchalant. "You go to the back gate. Jiang Xiaoniao's autism is acting up. There are too many people at the front gate. We'll wait for you at the back gate." Bai Lian was aware of Jiang He's autism. Without any doubt, she responded, "Okay." Sitting in the backseat, Jiang He. The black business van slowly drove into number 1 middle school's back gate. Jiang Fulai's car was allocated by Jiangjing, but the license plate was that of Xiancheng, making it inconspicuous for daily use. At the school gate, sitting in the driver's seat of a white car, Su En looked at the black car. He was slightly taken aback. Jai Mulin was trying to call Bai Lian, but no one answered. She had some doubts whether Bai Lian had blocked her. After speaking a few words to Su En, she saw him staring blankly at something. "What's up?" Jai Mulin followed his gaze, but saw nothing special. Su En came back to himself and shook his head. "It's nothing." But he couldn't shake off the feeling, that car. He had once seen a similar one from a great distance in Jiangjing. The entire body of the car was bulletproof. However, he never saw the person inside it, and he hadn't expected to see a similar car in Xiancheng as well. At the back gate of the school, Bai Lian had already arrived. The season had turned to autumn, and she had her school uniform jacket pulled tight, with the sun already half set, casting a reddish glow. She stood by the roadside in her school uniform, cold and clear, holding her phone with fingers that were also pale and cold. Her silhouette projected like a simple ink painting of early autumn. Ming Dingheng quietly parked the car beside her. The rear car door opened automatically. Bai Lian stood still. Looking at Jiang, he propped up against the back of the seat, smiled, as if the silent figure in the painting had come to life. "Why are you so weak?" She got into the car and pinched Jianghe's face. Jianghe pursed his lips and looked up. Jiang Feilai cast a warning glance at Jianghe, his long fingertips tapping the laptop as if absent-mindedly. Today, Ming Dingheng seemed to be heading to the fighting arena to watch some new godly match. Jiang Feilai had given him the day off. During the day, Jiang Feilai dealt with the affairs of the Jiang family and had to make a trip to the Research Institute in the evening, while Jianghe was dead set on finding Bai Lian. Jai Heng had also gotten to know Jianghe, and he had no objections to heading back with Bai Lian at this moment. Purist street intersection. Bai Lian and Jiang, he got out of the car. Jiang he turned and was about to walk down the alley when Bai Lian grabbed him by the nape of his neck and pulled him back, raising an eyebrow. "Why didn't you say goodbye to your brother?" Jianghe. "Goodbye." Jiang Feilai's gaze lightly swept over Jianghe before he said to Bai Lian, "If he has any trouble, call me." After all, Jianghe was not a normal child. It wasn't until Jiang Feilai left that Bai Lian led Jianghe into the alley. The long and winding alley was filled with many workers installing street lamps today. Bai Lian was somewhat surprised. However, she didn't pay much attention to it. When they arrived at Jai Heng's courtyard, she found the door half open, and Jai Heng's somewhat hearty laughter could be heard inside. "Xiaohan, you must have dinner here tonight, I'll cook." As soon as Bai Lian opened the courtyard door, she saw Jai Heng sitting at the stone table with a pipe in hand, squinting his eyes, taking a deep drag on the tobacco. "You know, although this tobacco has no brand, it's even stronger than what I used to smoke." A thin wisp of smoke exhaled from his mouth. On the stone table lay a small bag of tobacco casually stuffed into a plastic bag. Xiaohan immediately noticed Bai Lian returning, his face lighting up. "Miss Bai is back." Jai Heng paused, his smoking slowed down a bit. Bai Lian knew Jai Heng had a strong addiction, but she just didn't want him to smoke so uncontrollably. She greeted Xiaohan. "I'm going to tidy up Jiang Xiaonao's room." Jai Heng pointed with his pipe to a room next to Bai Lian. "That was Xiaojun's old room. I tidied it up in the afternoon. You check if there's anything missing." As the two talked, Xiaohan did not dare to chime in. It wasn't until Jai Heng asked him, "Do you have any dietary restrictions for the meal?" Xiaohan hardly dared to trouble Jai Heng to cook for him. He was thinking of bringing that cake maker over. He was pondering the possibility. Then Jai Heng's old-style cell phone rang. It was Jai Mulin. "I've been waiting for her at the school gate until now and haven't seen her. Has she skipped class again?" Jai Mulin didn't bother with pleasantries, her voice cold as if she were angry. Of course, she was talking about Bai Lian. Jai Heng walked towards the door with the phone, holding the tobacco pipe upright and taking a puff. "She's already back." "How come I didn't see her?" Jai Mulin's voice rose. She wanted to say more, but remembering that she had just made peace with Jai Heng, she said, "What I mean is, I've been waiting for her." "Never mind, Su-en just acquired a hotel, and we're celebrating tonight. You two come out first, Su-en and I will wait for you." "No thanks," Jai Heng said calmly. "I'll have a couple of drinks with Xiaohan tonight. If you want to come, you can join us for a few drinks." With that, he hung up the phone. On the other end of the phone, Jai Mulin's expression was very unpleasant. She really didn't understand. Why was she bending over backward to create opportunities for Bai Lian to meet Su-en? If Bai Lian was clueless, it was one thing, but was Jai Heng just as oblivious? "What's wrong?" Su-en looked at her as she sat back in the car. Jai Mulin shook her head, not letting her displeasure show. "It's nothing. My dad said we should go back for dinner, but you're not used to the place where he lives, and he also has a friend over for drinks tonight. Let's just head back first." Jai Mulin wouldn't take Su-en to a place like Purist Street. Su-en nodded slightly. He wasn't in the mood to join Jai Heng and his friend for drinks. Wednesday. Under the watchful eyes of most of the students, Qiu Zuzheng came to the auditorium of Xianchengno, one high school, to give a speech. The principal personally greeted him. Even 2 reporters showed up. "Mr. Qiu, please have a seat." The principal escorted Qiu Zuzheng to the reception room and personally made him a cup of tea. "Thank you for caring so much about our senior students." He was a big positive example for the whole of Xiancheng. "There's no need for formalities, principal. I grew up in Xiancheng," said Qiu Zuzheng. one of the few who had made it out of Xiancheng and achieved a bit of success. Although he returned infrequently, it didn't mean he wasn't concerned about his hometown. "I'm happy to do something for the place where I grew up." The principal naturally knew this as well. In Xiancheng, especially among the older generation, feelings for the hometown ran deep. The principal was tidying up a pile of stuff on the conference table. "This year, the school has a few top students. I wonder if they have a chance to soar to great heights." As he was speaking, a piece of paper drifted gently to the floor. "That's what Mr. Ren told me," said Qiu Zuzhang as he took his teacup, blowing on it lightly. He was about to sip when he noticed the paper on the floor, his eyes casually glancing at it, and he stopped in his tracks. Snap, he slammed down the teacup, reached out to pick up the paper. Who wrote this? The principal was still organizing books. Upon hearing the voice, he quickly set down the book and took 2 steps forward. Seeing Qiu Zuzhang lost in thought over a piece of paper, he lowered his head to take a look and then smiled. "This is written by our student Bai Lian. It's no less impressive than the work of student Ren, don't you think?" The principal knew that Ren Wanxuan was Qiu Zuzhang's prized disciple, so he didn't overly praise Bai Lian. Yet Qiu Zuzhang shook his head. "No, this kind of brush strength, let alone Wanxuan, even my grandson might not measure up to him." The principal couldn't see it, but Qiu Zuzhang was very clear. Laymen don't understand what it means to penetrate wood by 3 fen, that the brush can kill into the paper, controlling the speed and pressure at the fingertips, demonstrating the writer's skill. He subconsciously assumed that such writing must have been done by a male student. He then remembered the principal mentioned that this student was still in senior year. How old would that be? And who was their teacher? How could there be such hidden dragons and crouching tigers in Xiancheng? Qiu Zuzhang quickly spoke up. "Which student is it? I'd like to meet them." The principal hadn't expected Qiu Zuzhang to hold such a high opinion of Bai Lian. "You are about to give a speech, so how about I arrange a meeting after your speech is finished?" With luck, he might be able to see Bai Lian in the auditorium. "Okay." Qiu Zuzhang knew he was too eager, with his speech still pending. He reiterated, "Make sure to arrange our meeting." The principal didn't understand why Qiu Zuzhang was in such a hurry, but he still made the arrangements and went out to call Lu Lingxi. Qiu Zuzhang took out his mobile phone and sent a message to the head of the Cultural and Tourism Bureau. "I believe that Xiancheng may have hoped to apply for the Calligraphy Association in the future. The bureau chief must have set Qiu Zuzhang as a priority, for they called the principal the second the message was received." Noon, Bai Lian was almost just out of class when she received a call from Shen Qing. "Alien," Shen Qing's voice was a bit soft. "Your mother suddenly asked me out to eat today and told me to call you to join us at Wan Building." But Shen Qing didn't agree outright. She felt that Bai Lian's relationship with Jai Mulin probably wasn't good, so she called Bai Lian first to confirm. "The food here is quite good," Shen Qing thought for a moment. "Do you want to come?" Jai Mulin. Upon hearing this, Bai Lian was a bit lost in thought. "Alien?" Shen Qing had been speaking for a while when she realized no one was responding. Bai Lian, resting her arms on the balcony, looked down below. Her emotions had stabilized over the past 2 days, and her eyes were dark and deep. "I'm on my way." Shen Qing was sitting on the toilet. She hung up the phone. Then she came out, washed her hands, and headed for the private room. There was only Jai Mulin in the private room. Su En hadn't arrived yet. Jai Mulin was looking down at her mobile phone, not speaking with Shen Qing. Shen Qing sat opposite her somewhat awkwardly. Su En arrived a few minutes before Bai Lian. His presence was even stronger than Ren Jiawei's, and Shen Qing didn't know where to put her hands and feet. She wanted to ingratiate herself with Su En, but found herself unable to articulate any flattery. Shen Qing was starting to regret coming. She had just heard Jai Mulin mention dining at Wan Building and wanted to try this delicacy that was usually beyond her reach. "This is my sister-in-law," Jai Mulin introduced Shen Qing with indifference, as she had always looked down on her a bit. Su En was very polite. Shen Qing could only give a stiff nod, finally understanding she didn't fit in at this kind of occasion. Fortunately, the sound of the doorbell saved her. Shen Qing quickly stood up. Bai Lian walked in from the outside, glanced at the people sitting inside, pulled out the chair next to Shen Qing, and sat down casually, leaning back lazily. Her school jacket was left open, her long eyelashes hung down, lightly casting a shadow over her dark pupils. She greeted Shen Qing lightly. As for the others, Bai Lian found it hard to extend any politeness. Jai Mulan sat opposite her, troubled by her rebellious demeanor. "Don't you know how to greet people? This is your Uncle Su." Only then did Bai Lian look up, silently observing Jai Mulan. The person had a very beautiful face, but the expression was noble and domineering. Those eyes lacked warmth. They were gradually becoming estranged from the memory she held. Bai Lian couldn't help thinking of the Klein blue Jiang Fulai had mentioned, the color of a person's pupils after death. Was that the color of her mother's eyes when she passed away? Kids are always like this. Su-en didn't mind, just smiled at Bai Lian. "Even though you don't want to be registered under the Su family, I still consider myself your Uncle Su." Su-en was skilled in negotiations, and with just a sentence or two, he lightened the mood. Shen Qing instantly relaxed and signaled to Bai Lian with her eyes that this stepfather wasn't bad. But Bai Lian didn't catch her eye. Jai Mulan observed Su-en's reaction and knew he had a favorable impression of Bai Lian. As long as Bai Lian didn't mess up, her face indeed possessed a deceptive charm. Although she couldn't take Bai Lian to the Su family, she would still try to make sure Bai Lian had opportunities to interact with Su-en. "Your grandfather told you, didn't he?" Su-en pondered for a moment. "I'll be marrying your mother at the end of the year." "Sure." Bai Lian was indifferent to the news. "Congratulations." Jai Mulan's expression softened a lot. Su-en was taken aback. He wanted to say more when the cell phone he'd placed aside rang. He looked at it and immediately answered. "Hello." Su-en's voice was serious and respectful. It was obvious the person on the other end wasn't ordinary. "Yes, I'm in Xiancheng, preparing to acquire a project." The person on the other end of the phone said something. Su-en exclaimed in surprise and quickly stood up with some excitement. "What? Okay, I understand. I will do it well." He waited for the other party to hang up first, then he disconnected the call. Jai Mulan had never seen Su-en speak to anyone with such an attitude, and she couldn't help but look at him with surprise, then hesitated. "Who was that call from?" "The butler, Su." Su-en tried to contain his joy, but couldn't hide it completely as he smiled at Jai Mulan. "He said Miss Su is coming to Xiancheng to pick up something and take it back to Jiangjing. He knew I was in Xiancheng and told me to take good care of her." "Mulan, our decision to come to Xiancheng was right." Jai Mulan understood that the butler Su and Miss Su he mentioned were definitely not the people she knew from Su-en's family. "Miss Su?" asked Jai Mulan slightly inquisitively. "It's Miss Su Yajun," explained Su-en to the few people at the table, with a hint of awe and rare envy. "She was earmarked by the Traditional Calligraphers Association at the age of 18, and her teacher is the president of the association." Su Yajun's father and he had been classmates. They grew up together, but unfortunately, because of Su Yajun's soaring status, his family held considerable weight in the main house, while he was still at the same place. At this point, Su-en sighed, just hoping that his own son would have a slightly easier time applying for the laboratory this year. "You guys don't understand the weight of the Traditional Calligraphers Association in Jiangjing." Su-en was about to continue when he looked up and saw Shen Qing's confused expression. Not just Shen Qing, even Jai Mulan, who had just arrived in Jiangjing, seemed silent. Su-en stopped mid-sentence, remembering these few individuals likely had no clue about the situation in Jiangjing, let alone anything about Su Yajun and the Traditional Calligraphers Association. There was no point in explaining the significance of the president of the Calligraphers Association to them. "All right, let's not talk about this." Su-en shook his head and smiled. "You just need to know that Miss Su is very important." After finishing, Su-en didn't continue eating. He picked up his cell phone, bid farewell to Bai Lian and Shen Qing, and hurried back to start an online meeting with his assistant and the chief administrative officer. Jai Mulan also had a lackluster meal. As she was paying the bill and leaving absent-mindedly, she suddenly stopped when she saw Bai Lian waiting obediently for Shen Qing. "Wait until I get a firm footing in the Su family. I made it very clear last time, I'm now registered with grandfather," said Bai Lian, slowly zipping up as she bowed her head. Then when she raised her eyes, they were calm. "Don't bring this up again." I will never leave with you. Bai Lian wasn't the real original character. She didn't know what Jai Mulan was thinking, but even if Jai Mulan was truly reflecting and making amends, she couldn't replace the original person and forgive the Bai family and Jai Mulan, because the harm had been done, leaving the original girl to die alone in that lake. Bai Lian could never forgive anyone on her behalf. Jai Mulan stood frozen in place. Bai Lian nodded slightly to Jai Mulan and left with Shen Qing. It was only after they got into the elevator that Shen Qing dared to speak to Bai Lian. "You fool, not taking advantage of a good situation. Your future stepfather is from Jiangjing." As Shen Qing spoke, she couldn't help but click her tongue in wonder. Such fortune for Jai Mulan, she thought, not knowing where it came from. Bai Lian's hands were in her pockets, and instead of studying vocabulary like usual, she just lazily walked ahead. "Oh, silly child." Shen Qing wanted to ask if she knew what being from Jiangjing meant, but remembering that Bai Lian was even willing to give up the Bai family, she fell silent. Bai Lian had just returned to her class. Pu Xiaohan waved at her from her seat with a smile. "Lu's mom said as soon as you're back, go straight to the principal's office." The principal's office again. The principal's office. "Mr. Qiu, director." The principal looked at Qiu Zuzhang and the cultural bureau director who were sitting idly and cautiously suggested, "Student Bai has gone out. Wouldn't you two prefer to have lunch first?" "No need," Qiu Zuzhang waved his hand. He stared intently at the direction of the office door. By his side, the director had just arrived not long ago and was looking at a large character that principal had just shown them, written by Bai Lian earlier with a wolf hairbrush. The paper had been taken by the photographer for additional shots. The principal only had a photo. "I think you're right," the director whispered to Qiu Zuzhang. "We really might have a chance." The two were in the midst of their conversation. The door gently creaked, and Qiu Zuzhang and the director immediately looked up to see a slender silhouette. The person bowed his head slightly, with long, pale, and cold fingers on the door, drifting in lazily as the door pushed open. A cool jade-like brilliance softly filling the space. It was a girl. The director and Qiu Zuzhang both withdrew their gazes. Both had subconsciously assumed that such characters could only be written by a boy. "Principal," Bai Lian looked towards the principal, squinting her eyes. "You were looking for me for something?" "Not me." The principal also glanced at Qiu Zuzhang and the director, surprised at how these two could be so composed at this moment. "Bai Lian, it's elder Mr. Qiu and his colleague who are looking for you." Qiu Zuzhang had thought it was some student looking for the principal. Upon hearing what the principal said, he suddenly stood up, staring intently at Bai Lian. "She wrote these characters?" "Yes," the principal was startled by his reaction. But Qiu Zuzhang exchanged a glance with the director. In the calligraphy world, men were prevalent and women scarce. Over so many years, only one woman had won first place in the 7 competitions for the Lan Ting Prize. They had thought Ren Wanxuan was outstanding, but to think the one who wrote such a powerful stroke was a girl. The director was much more direct than Qiu Zuzhang. "Bai Lian, you're planning to participate in the Lan Ting Prize this year, aren't you?" If she missed this year, she would have to wait another 3 years. Bai Lian, not recognizing them, simply raised an eyebrow. Lan Ting Prize. She had never heard of it. Not only the director and Qiu Zuzhang, but even the principal found it too outlandish. "Bai Lian, you don't know about the Lan Ting Prize." Bai Lian's eyes were sincere. Could she be the disciple of a hidden master? Qiu Zuzhang gave the director a look, which the latter understood and began to explain the Lan Ting Prize to Bai Lian. "If you participate, you'll definitely make it to the preliminary selection. Not just the preliminary, you even have the potential to win the 3rd prize, although it may be a bit challenging this year. But the Traditional Calligraphers Association will surely invite you to join." All about the benefits of participating in the Lan Ting Prize. Of course, no matter how much he said, he only dared mention up to the 3rd prize, considering even Qiu Beicheng was aiming for that. "Oh," Bai Lian responded disinterestedly, her long lashes lowered, her dark eyes appearing lethargic. She spoke with an air of nonchalance. "Is there anything else, Principal?" Qiu Zuzhang and the director had thought of many possibilities, but the one thing they hadn't considered was that Bai Lian was indifferent to the Lan Ting Prize. After all, no calligrapher was disinterested in the Lan Ting Prize. Even Ren Wanxuan had been scheming for a chance to participate. As she started to walk away, the director spoke helplessly. I was also going to say that if you participate in the Lan Ting Prize, you could help us in Xiancheng to apply for a calligraphy association, allowing more children to learn calligraphy. Bai Lian stopped in her tracks and turned around, the gentle sunshine striking her profile. Apply for an association. Yes, winning an award makes it much easier to apply for a calligraphy association. Qiu Zuzhang explained softly. There are many children in Xiancheng who want to learn calligraphy, but we lack teaching resources and facilities. With a calligraphy association, it would be much easier to manage. I see. Bai Lian lightly flicked a lock of hair by her face, her expression mild. Then I'll participate. What? Bai Lian, recalling the mention of the third prize, touched the iridium on her wrist, contemplative. The higher the rank, the better the benefits I can apply for. Of course. Qiu Zuzhang came back to his senses. He looked at Bai Lian, seriously explaining, as long as you're shortlisted, people will approach you. If you win third prize, the Traditional Calligraphers Association will definitely invite you to become a member, and then you won't have any trouble applying to local calligraphy associations. The higher the ranking, the better, of course. If you win the first prize, it goes without saying that you might even become a senior member of the Traditional Calligraphers Association. He realized that Bai Lian was more concerned about Xiancheng, so he continued to talk about these resources. Many children in Xiancheng like to learn calligraphy, but the area is remote and lacks teachers. Very few families like the Ren family hire famous teachers from Beicheng, so most people are self-taught without any formal instruction. By the way, Qiu Zuzhang suddenly remembered something. He stared at Bai Lian with sparkling eyes. How old are you this year? 2. Bai Lian, thinking about the Orchid Pavilion Prize, started to reply instinctively, then hesitated. She lowered her eyes and after a long silence said, 19. 19. The eyes of the head of the Culture and Tourism Bureau shone brightly. This age, she would still be very young the next time she participates in the Orchid Pavilion Prize. After making sure that Bai Lian will participate, Qiu Zuzhang and the other person both sighed in relief. He solemnly cautioned Bai Lian, you should practice your calligraphy more during this time. Your brush strokes are still a bit unsteady. You need to submit your work by next week. The deadline for the Orchid Pavilion Prize was drawing close. After Bai Lian left, the principal turned to the two of them. Mr. Qiu, director, shall we go have dinner first? Sure. The director of the Culture and Tourism Bureau finally showed a smile. As he headed out, he looked in the direction Bai Lian had gone. Being shortlisted is certain, but I wonder if she and young Mr. Qiu can win the third prize this time. 19 is too young an age. I didn't even ask her what her CCPT score was. Qiu Zuzhang walked out, knowing more insider information than the other two, and sighed. And this time, the Orchid Pavilion Prize is like a dragon's den of hidden talent. Just Zai Jinian and Su Yajun are too eye-catching. But it's not a big problem. She's still young. By the next Orchid Pavilion Prize, she is sure to astonish everyone. The principal did not understand these matters and listened quietly. What if Bai Lian writes an even more brilliant piece during this period? If she could win, a 19-year-old third prize winner, then in another 3 years, she goes on to win the first prize. The director thought and couldn't help but chuckle. By then, our Xiancheng will also be seen by them. The Traditional Calligraphers Association will definitely allocate resources to us. These thoughts were overly optimistic. Qiu Zuzhang looked at the director of the Culture and Tourism Bureau wordlessly. Dreaming day by day that Qiu Beicheng would win a prize was one thing, but now he even dared to dream of a first prize. Bai Lian returned to class 15. Pu Xiaohan was talking to someone else about Qiu Zuzhang's lecture from that morning. Mr. Qiu really is my idol. The meaning of reading is why, to read for oneself. Zhang Shais was lying in the back, asleep, while Ning Xiao and Yang Lin were busy solving practice questions. Bai Lian sat back in her place and slowly pulled out her physics practice book from among a pile of books. When Pu Xiaohan saw her return, she abandoned her conversation with the others, turned around, and asked Bai Lian in a low voice, What did the principal want with you this time? Another promotional video. No, Bai Lian said, casually uncapping a pen with one hand and leaning back in her chair. Then she suddenly looked up and smiled at Pu Xiaohan. Why didn't you get good at calligraphy? Pu Xiaohan touched her nose and shrugged her shoulders. Just a little bit I learned from the teacher during big character class in elementary school. Then later I learned on my own watching videos online. She sounded somewhat proud by the end of her statement. Everyone studying calligraphy knows that with a teacher's guidance, one can avoid many detours and lay a good foundation more quickly, making writing much easier. Calligraphy is profound and complex, and without a teacher, it's difficult to improve. Yet Xiancheng didn't even have a calligraphy association. Those with any amount of achievement all settled in the Beicheng Writers Association. Most of Xiancheng's population is made up of ordinary laborers without the means to hire a calligraphy teacher from Beicheng to instruct their children. Pu Xiaohan was also like that, mostly self-taught. Opportunities to hear a lecture from Qiu Zuzhang like today were almost non-existent. Bai Lian lowered her head, her fingertips pressing down on the practice book, lowered her lashes, casually writing on the physics test paper. Pu Xiaohan wanted to boast to Bai Lian about how she had found many videos to learn on her own. But looking at Bai Lian with her head down, she inexplicably felt a sense of sorrow emanating from her. Pu Xiaohan swallowed the words she was about to say and just watched Bai Lian slowly work on physics problems.